was a 9-year-old kid in the 1960s, had a big afro, and visiting some relatives of a friend of mine in Virginia. So I was in Virginia. There was the small black and white TV, and there were the first fuzzy images of Neil Armstrong taking his first steps on the moon. The moon, The moon is up there, but where? How does it? You go through this sort of existential. Are they really up there? Because you can see the moon. It's not something hidden. You didn't need special apparatus to know that the moon is up there. It's there. And I remember thinking distinctly, oh, first moon landing. Be the beginning of a whole new era. And I'm sure I was not alone with those thoughts. But because I was certain, as was everyone else, that it was the beginning of an era, I didn't jump for joy or do somersaults. I just said, it's the beginning. So there we were anticipating the moon landing. Then you watch the moon landing, and then you reflect on the moon landing, and as time moved on, it never kept happening. It was just there, now receding in the past. And had I known that our first steps on the moon would essentially be our last steps on the moon, I would have done somersaults. I would have said, oh my gosh, this is a unique moment in the history of our species. Never to happen again. Let me revel and celebrate and pop champagne corks. I would have felt differently had I known that that was the beginning of the end rather than the beginning of the beginning.
Neil deGrasse clearly states that there was one moon landing. He must not have had a TV to watch these other ones. The moon landings happened from 69 up until 72. They say that 6 moon landings happened within that time frame during the Apollo missions. And my story begins here because when I was a child, I used to hear stories of the moon landing. And my uncle would tell me, as well as our neighbors, we would sit with our neighbors in the backyard, and we'd look up at the sky about the same age as my parents. I was a much younger kid, and I would hear the older kids speak about the moon landing, and they said that we never went back for that first time because it says that they found aliens when they went there. That was the story, and I was fascinated when I was a kid. I heard again about the moon landing at the time of Richard Nixon's death, when France was in an uproar and they're saying about the moon landing was faked. And I was like, how ridiculous to even say something. But after Richard Nixon's death over in France, they released a report both that moon landing was faked and as well as that Richard Nixon was gay. But anyways, years later, I hear about the Mandela effect. And I go to my uncle because my uncle was the one on those starry nights that used to tell me about the moon landing. He knew all about that stuff. And he told me that they're only there once and, that it was a rumor because of aliens. But I go to him and I ask him about it. And I was like, did you hear that there were, how many moon landings were there? And today he tells me 6. As this goes on, I have another story, and this story here is about a death of a celebrity. Now, the celebrity in question is not important at all. It has nothing to do with the story, basically, other than I remember the story. Someone came to me, and there was a newscast on. Someone very, very dear, couldn't get more dear in my life, says to me this. They say that I remember them dying before. I was like, you know what? I vaguely remember hearing something about them dying before, and they were certain. They were like, no, they died twice, I'm telling you. And I'm like, maybe you're experiencing the Mandela effect. Well, as the summer, this is the beginning of the summer, at the end of the summer, I see that celebrity is still alive, and I was blown away. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to blow someone away with this information. I go over to that person, and I say, hey, I ask about that celebrity, and I go, do you know anything about them, live or dead? They say to me, yeah, I've been watching them on TV for the longest time. They're not dead. And I thought I was going to blow them away, but I was blown away by that information. Please leave your thoughts on this video. Thank you.